ለመማር ወደ ትምህርት ተቋም መሄድ ግድ አይደለም። ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
ራሳችሁን ከኮሮና ቫይረስ ወረርሽኝ እየጠበቃችሁ በቤታችሁ ወይም በተመቻችሁ ቦታ በኢንተርኔት አማካኝነት በኦንላይን ትምህርታችሁን መከታተል ትችላላችሁ።
ካናዳ ከሚገኘው ኢንተርናሽናል ኤር ትራንስፖርት አሶሲዬሽን አያታና ከእንግሊዙ ኢንስቲትዩት ኦፍ ኮመርሻል ማኔጅመንት ICM ጋር በመተባበር የሚሰጡ ትምህርቶችን ተከታትላችሁ በ6 ወር ጊዜ በዓለም አቀፍ ደረጃ ተቀባይነት ያለውን የስልጠና ማስረጃ ባለቤት መሆን ይቻላል።
ልምድ ባላቸው መምህራን እየተማራችሁ ጥያቄና መልስ የክፍል ስራዎች ፈተና መፈተን ክፍል ውስጥ እንዳላችሁት አይነት በኦንላይን ባላችሁበት ቦታ ከናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ
የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ
Okay, what did you discuss about last time?
We have discussed about the past perfect. I think we started from past perfect up to no. We started from past continuous, I think.
Past continuous. Did you see past perfect?
Past continuous.
Past perfect.
And past perfect. Yeah. And you already give us an assignment.
Okay.
To present it in the class about our weekends.
Okay.
About how we spend our weekends.
Okay. So we learned past continuous and the past perfect. We stopped on past
Yeah,
perfect.
sure.
Simple future, we didn't talk about simple future.
Yeah, I think we didn't talk about the simple future.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So okay, let me give a chance for other students to present. So, okay, Jerusalem. Mr. Zalal, how are you? Salam. زين
سلام
دمسي رب شران لك
አይሰማም ሸይ
سمع
ኮኔክሽን ነው
ነው እሺ እስኪ ስተካከል በኋላ እመጣለሁ አንተ ጋር
ኮኔክሽን የለም
እሺ
የምጠቀመው እዛ ነው
እሺ ኦኬ ተመስገን ሀብታሙ can you report your weekend?
May I report my?
Yeah, please.
Did you ask me to repeat the weekend? Okay. On Saturday, I got out of bed at 7:30 a.m. I had eaten breakfast around 8 before I went to the garage where my mom's truck was. The truck was being fixed the whole day while I was going back and forth to Kera to buy.
What happened to the truck? What happened to the truck?
It had some problems that need to be fixed.
Okay.
So at evening, I went back to my wife's parent place where we were staying for a visit. And it was nearby. It was nearby the garage as well. So I went to bed early on that Saturday because I was tired. And on Sunday, I woke up before the daybreak to finish up what was left in preparing the truck to make it roadworthy.
Okay.
And after I got the truck ready, I spent the day chatting with my wife's family and watching TV. At evening around 8 p.m. In the evening around 8 p.m. I had met my old friend for a brief moment of time before I drove back home. I went to bed late after the 1 hour drive back to home.
All right.
That was my weekend.
Very great. I appreciate your things actually. So how long has been since you met your old friend?
It has been 4 months. Actually, the last time I seen him, one of our friend's father died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I met him there. So he came to say hello to me and my wife and my son as well. because he lives around Gabriel, and where it is nearby where my wife's family lives.
Okay.
So because it was nearby, he came to say hello.
Okay. Do you always go to your wife's family, especially on the weekend?
Not usually. Yeah, usually my wife and my son they go to visit
Okay.
my
By
wife's
the way,
parents.
my wife and my son, if you say you don't need to use they, my wife and the son, then you can say usually go, right? We don't use they because two subjects we don't use. Okay.
Okay. They okay. Usually go to visit, but I myself I don't usually go. But because the garage that I took the car to be fixed is nearby my wife's
family.
parents.
Thanks so much.
Then I went to visit. Okay.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate your verbs, especially used, past tense, had plus verb 3 in simple past. I really appreciate. Thanks so much. Thank you. Jerusalem. Jerusalem.
I woke up around 8 a.m. Then I start getting ready for the class. I start getting ready for the summer.
This summer, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
I start getting ready for the class, which was going to start about 9 a.m. Then after I finished my class, I was doing the entire day like watching movies, using social medias. That was my Saturday. On Sunday, I was like the entire day I was watching movies. Most of the time I was watching movies, reality shows, in the most, and I spend my time.
I spent
like this.
Okay, you spent your
time.
time. You spent your time like this. Thanks so much. But most of times, maybe try to change the place where you are, right? Especially there is a network. Network is bad, right? Thanks so much. Okay, Ashi, it's okay. We can report already. I think no need to waste our time. So you presented it very well, and I expected to use past tense, past perfect, past continuous, simple past. Thanks so much. Most of you have used it. I appreciate that. So let's proceed to today's lesson, right? Let's proceed to today's lesson. Last time we discussed about simple past, past continuous, and the past perfect. Today, I think there is an exercise for new to you. Today, we talk about past perfect, simple future. Simple future, master simple future, right, please. Simple future. Simple future is used. Simple future is used to express an action. To express an action which will be completed in the future. As you know, in the case of simple future, we use will and shall, right? Plus verb 1. It's very simple, actually. Will, shall plus verb 1. Will, shall plus verb 1. Will, shall plus verb 1. Examples. We will meet tomorrow. We will meet tomorrow. Example 2. What shall we eat? 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 Okay, new line and displacement line. Shall is used. New line. Shall is used. Shall is used to ask to ask somebody's opinion. Shall is used to ask somebody's opinion. To ask somebody's opinion. To ask somebody's opinion. Opinion. And to give suggestion. To give suggestion. 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 Examples. Example. At what time shall we meet tomorrow? 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 Okay, let me explain here. This is very simple things. Simple future is used to express an action which will be completed in the future. ወደፊት የሚሆን ነገር ለመግለጽ ማለት ወደፊት የሚሆን Abel will help us. Okay, thank you. So, will and shall ሐሳብ ለመጠየቅ ነው የምንጠቀመው። shallን የአንድ ሰውን ሐሳብ አይደል? Opinion, right? Opinion. ሐሳብ ለመጠየቅ ጀሩሳሌም ቪዲዮ ኦን ብታደርጊ አሪፍ። shall is used to ask for opinion. ሐሳብ ለመጠየቅ ነው የምንጠቀመው። ይሻላል ማለት shall ማለት ይሻላል እንዲሆን ይሻላል። ለምሳሌ አንድ ሰውን ስንቀጥር ነገ 8 ሰዓት አገኘሃለሁ አይባልም ማለት some people say ነገ we will meet tomorrow at 8 o'clock። ይሄ ጤነኛ እንግሊዝኛ ነው። ጤነኛ አይደለም። ነገ እንገናኛለን ሳይሆን 8 ሰዓት እንገናኛለን ሳይሆን ነገ 8 ሰዓት ብንገናኝ ይሻላል። በዚህ ይሄ በጣም ኢምፖርታንት ነው። ወደፊት ስራ ላይ ስትሉ ሰውን ሲቀጥሩ በሻል ነው የምንቀጥረው። shall we meet ብለን ነው because you are not the only one to decide the time, right? Decision will be made between two of us, right, Mr. Decision will be done between two of us, right? For instance, if I want to eat lunch today with Mr. Haptamu, I take Mr. Haptamu to Hilton Hotel. So I don't say let's eat pizza, right? Let's eat pizza means I'm forcing him, right, to eat what he doesn't like, maybe. So I say to him, let's eat pizza. Shall we eat? Shall we eat pizza for lunch? Now this is a Democrat word. Shall is called a Democrat word. Democrat. You know, Democrat. Ishala. For instance, a husband and a wife sit in a certain table and then they discuss about their life. So they are expected to use shall. ባል ብቻውን እንደ ድሮ ባል ማለት ነው። ያው ባል እንኳን የድሮ ባል እንዲህ ማድረግ አለብን አይደል? ልጅቷ እዚህ ትምህርት ቤት መግባት አለባት አይደል? ልጅቷ እዚህ ትምህርት ቤት መግባት አለባት። That is, you know, old husband, I'm sorry to say. So in this 21st century, shall is used, you know, it's better to say, shall we get registered our children in this school? It's better. Shall is very important word, guys. So shall is used in the case of future plus suggestions and opinion. ግልጽ ነው ብዬ አስባለሁ። ቀላል ነው። ሲምፕል ፊውቸር ጊዜያችሁን አልወሰድ። ወደ ዛሬው ትምህርት ልሂድ። Do you have any question on tense? Tense ልከልስና እንጨርስ። Tense we learned present continuous tense, simple present, present perfect, present perfect continuous, simple past, past continuous, past perfect, simple future. እነዚህን tense we have already digested. ፈጭተናቸዋል ብዬ አስባለሁ። If you do have any question, you can ask. Tense ያልገባው ሰው በጣም ከባድ ነው ማለት ነው። If you don't understand tense, አሁን ወደፊት እንማራለን። Conditions እንማር, there is a tense. When you talk about active and passive, ዛሬ እንማራለን active passive. There is a tense. When you talk about conjunction, there is a tense. When you talk about direct indirect speech, there is a tense. When you talk about paragraph, report writing, letter writing, story writing, tense. Tense ያለበት ነገር የለም። ገብቶ Yeah, tense important. Kasi ጥያቄ? No question. All right. Okay. እሺ ወደ ዛሬው ትምህርት ልሂድ. Let me proceed to today's lesson. Last time we discussed about this. If you remember the conversation part. ይሄ እንትን ተልኮላችኋል አይደል? Have you got this PowerPoint? ተልኮላል?
The 8 pages you have seen.
8 pages. በየዩኒት ነው የምልክላችሁ. Next time I will say the other. Okay, writing stories from outline. This is very important one. You listen to me very carefully. Writing story from outline. This is very important one. Story writing is an art. Story writing art, no matter. It's an art. Each and every individual, okay. Each and every individual like to listen to or read a good story. From from the old days to the present technologically developed world, there is no second opinion, right? There is no second opinion. And there is no variation in age in listening to stories with interest. Developing the hints. And then development of a story. This is very important lesson. How do you develop a story? Develop writing stories from the outlines given is not merely filling up dash. Dash will fill up. So when you write, a story, there are different outlines. Maybe I will teach you this one actually today. So it doesn't mean that it's not merely filling up dash, right? It's not a matter of filling up dash, but developing the phrases into the full sentence. Story outlines is attached. Yeah, outline. Develop phrase. You make it what? Full what? Full sentence, right? How do you make a full sentence? Having in mind tense, grammar, tense, grammar. So you have to make full sentence. Usually, students take down hints or notes from various sources in the form of outline. I will give different kinds of hints, like outlines. That outlines, there are phrases. So you need to you want to connect, link them, right, in the form of sentence. Using different kind of conjunctional, linking words, conjunctions. Usually students take down hints or notes from various sources in the form of outline. You will be given in the form of outline. This outline has been elaborated in the form of sentence. You are expected to elaborate, to explain, right? In the form of what? In the form of what? In the form of what? In the form of sentence, for their learning purpose during test or examination. So, the exercise on writing stories from outline prepares the learners to develop their skill in elaborating gist or points. This one points into sentence and the paragraphs. So, when I give you different kind of outlines, you are expected to make these outlines into different points, into different sentences, right? And paragraphs, man. If you remember, last time, I think the coordinator sent you a certain assignment. Is it like assignment about story? The corona, Kamijamari Fits. Look at Mr. Abdam, assignment 1.
I don't think so, sir.
Are you sure?
I don't think so. Yes.
Before we start our class, the coordinator didn't. Okay, maybe. All right. So, what is a story? What is story? It's very simple, but very important. What's a story? Before analyzing how to write stories from the given outline, it will be better to know what a story is and what composes a story. A story is a work of fiction or imagination that is usually written in easy, understandable grammatical structure. Grammar grammar. ህይወት የሚሰጠው ለጽሁፍ ለንግግር grammar ከንቱ ነው። ለምሳሌ for example, if our government wants to bring sheep, sheep, መርከብ. If our government wants to bring sheep, first the government needs to have what? Water, ውሃ አይደል? መርከብ ቢመጣ ያለ ውሃ የትም አይሄድም አይደል? ስለዚህ ውሃው ምን መሰላችሁ? ውሃው grammar ነው ማለት ነው። ኦራይት? መርከቡ ደግሞ ጽሁፍ ነው። መርከቡ ራይቲንግ ነው። መርከቡ ንግግር ነው። መርከቡ ማዳመጥ ነው። ይሰማችሁ በደንብ? ስለዚህ ውሃውን እንያዝ መጀመሪያ። We need to have the grammar very well. Sometimes people may consider themselves, when they have to have a good accent or pronunciation እና እንትን አይደለም ሰው የሚለካው በአክሰንት በፕሮናንሲዬሽን አይደለም። በትክክል የቋንቋ አጠቃቀም የሚለካው ኢቫሉዌት የሚደረገው በግራመር ነው። የሀብታሙና የአቤልን የዘላለም እንግሊዝኛ የምገመግሙ ስትጽፉም ስታወሩ በአክሰንት አይደለም በፕሮናንሲዬሽን አይደለም what I evaluate is has ሀብታሙ used the right grammar at the right time and the place የሚለው ነው ኮንሲደር ማድረገውና ወደፊትም ወደ ስራ ስትገቡ ጽሁፍ ላይ በጣም ጥሩ ነገር ለማውራት እንግሊዘኛ በደንብ ለማውራት ግራመር በደንብ ፖሊሽ ማድረግ አለባችሁ እሺ ልምጣ ስለዚህ understandable grammatical structure with natural flow of speech to breed at a single sitting and therefore it should be direct and brief as possible brief don't manzazat ማለት don't manzazat እሺ how to write stories from the outline given እንዴት ነው የምንጽፈው እቺ ወሳኝ ፖይንት ነች ልክላችኋለሁ ይሄ ፓወርፖይንት ካደረሳችሁ how to write stories from the outline given read the hints given very carefully
በትምህርት ከፍ ብሎ መብረር ይቻላል ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ከከፍተኛ ትምህርት አግባብነትና ጥራት ኤጀንሲ ሙሉ ዕውቅናን ባገኘንባቸው በማስተርስ ዲግሪ MBA በስትራቴጂክ ማኔጅመንት MBA በባንኪንግ እና ፋይናንስ MBA በቢዝነስ ሊደርሺፕ MBA በሪስክና ኢንሹራንስ MSc በኢንተርናሽናል ትሬድ እና ኢኮኖሚክስ ዘርፎች በእውቀት ለመቅረጽ የበቁ ፕሮፌሰሮቻችን አረንጓዴ መብራታቸውን አብርተዋል በነገራችን ላይ በኬንያ ሀገር ከሚገኙ ስመጥር ዩኒቨርሲቲዎች በሚመጡ ፕሮፌሰሮች የትኩረት መስክ ትምህርቶቹ መሰጠታቸው ልዩ ያደርገናል በምርጥ የትምህርት ስርዓት የተገነባው ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ በመጀመሪያ ዲግሪ በአቪዬሽን ማኔጅመንት በሆቴል ማኔጅመንት በአካውንቲንግ እና ፋይናንስ በማርኬቲንግ ማኔጅመንት አስተማማኝ ትምህርት ይገቢውና ራስዎንና ሀገሮን ይለውጡ አድራሻ 22 አደባባይ ወደ ሾላ በሚወስደው መንገድ ላይ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ህልሞን እውን ያደርጋል
read the hints given very carefully hintoቹን በደንብ ይሁን you have to look at the hints very carefully when you write when outline will be given to you to write a story you need to focus on the hints ማለት ነው this is a very cool ነገር this is very important thing the second point understand all details given in the story በስቶሪ ላይ የተሰጠውን ዲቴሎች አንደርስታንድ አድርጉ ማለት ነው ወደፊት ፈተና ምናምን ይኖራል እንደዚህ አይነት understand all details in the story you have to መረዳት ማለት you have to understand the third think of setting or background of the story you need to think of the setting what does it mean by setting
match it
yeah very good oh you are an author I think very good think of setting imagine the story in your mind in my mind's eyes you need to know to imagine right before the story with description of the background and the main characters take care to make it interesting one the next paragraph should deal with the deeds or the problem mentioned in the story some start again the next paragraph must deal with the details or the problems mentioned in the story the third paragraph should be the third paragraph should be the concluding part the concluding part it may end with solution to the problem discussed next time we learn about paragraph writing ስንማር ወደፊት በፊትም ኮርስ ወስዳችኋል ያስባለሁ መከለስ ጥሩ ነው ባይ ትምህርት እንደ ስብከት ነው እንደምታውቁት because አንድ አስተማሪ አንድ ነገር በተለያየ መልኩ ሊያስተምር ይችላል አይደል so the methodology is different so even if you learn it I'm expected to revise to you so under concluding part ምንድነው የምታደርጉት ማለት ነው you give solution ማለት ነው to the problem discussed you give solution in the case of paragraph writing if you remember the before class maybe if you learned I don't know I'm not sure about that there is a thesis statement ይባላል paragraph ላይ thesis statement means the main idea of the paragraph which will be discussed everything in the body parts ማለት ነው right so you need to summarize man under conclusion part ብዙ ጊዜ የምታደርጉት summarize ነው የምታደርጉት what do you summarize the thesis statement the main idea of the paragraph you are not expected to put something new ideas additional ብዙ conclusion ላይ አደራ አዲስ ነገር አትጨምሩ conclusion ላይ don't put something new try to መከለስ try to generalize summarize what you have written so far in new words በአዲስ ቃል ነው መሰፈት no need to put the same words it will be very boring በአዲስ ቃላት ሰመራይዝ አድርጉ ሐሳባችሁን ማለት ነው ኮንክሉዥን ላይ እና መፍትሄ ስጡ መፍትሄ you give solution all right you give solution it should satisfy the reader's interest. All right, it should satisfy the reader's interest. The last paragraph should satisfy the reader's interest. አንድ ነገር ልምከራችሁ ብራዘር ለነርቫይዝ ዋንቲ ሁሌ ሶስት ነገሮች አሉ በጽሁፍና በእንትን there are three things always in the public speaking, in the presentation, oral presentation said, and what in the writing part. ሁሌ ሶስት ነገሮች አሉ. These three things are very important. What the first point? Introduction is very important. የሰማችሁ ይበለም introduction በጽሁፍ ላይ ስንመጣ introduction በጣም ወሳኝ ነው. Introduction when introduction ላይ ጥሩ ከሆነ when you write the introduction very well, the body will be very good. All right, the conclusion will be very good. So Mr. Samson, so introduction, you need to be very careful, man. You need to make it very interesting. ወደ እንትን ስንመጣ ደግሞ ወደ oral presentations opening speech ይባላል ታውቃላችሁ መጀመሪያ ላይ ፕሬዘንት ስታደርጉ በጣም ቆንጆ ካረጋችሁት አስተማሪው እንደውም በደንብ ላያዳምጣችሁ ይችላል ቦዲ ላይ ስትሄዱ የሰማችሁ ሚስጥር እየነገርካችሁ መግቢያው በጣም ቆንጆ ከሆነ መሃል ላይ ብዙም ላያዳምጣችሁ ይችላል ስለዚህ try to make the first part very interesting one, right? Very interesting one. የዛኔ ሰው ያዳምጣችኋል እኔ ለምሳሌ መጀመሪያ ክላስ ላይ መጥቼ የሰማችሁ መጀመሪያ ክላስ ላይ መጥቼ ተንተባትቤ ቢሄድ ሁለተኛው ክላስ አታዳምጡኝ ማለት nobody is going to listen to me. So the first thing is very important one. So try to polish the first introduction part very well and try to polish the conclusion part very well because ብዙ attention ይቀረው መጨረሻ ላይ ነው ማርክ ሲታረም መጨረሻ ላይ ነው አይደል አንብቤ ሁሉ አንደርስታንድ ካረኩ በኋላ ኮንክሉዥኑ ካልተመቸኝ ቦዲ ቢመቸኝ ኢንትሮዳክሽኑ ቢመቸኝ ጥሩ ማርክ ላስታችሁ ይችላል ማለት የሰማችሁ አጨራረስ አሳምሩ ማለት ነው ላይክ ኃይለ ገብረስላሴ that's good example in the case of finishing is very good conclusion part ማለት ያለው conclusion ማማር አለበት እሺ ወደዚህ ልመልስ each new incident can also be written in new paragraphs በደንብ አዳምጡ እዚህ ጋር listen to me each new incident can also be written in a new paragraph, right? For instance, when I give you a certain outlines, each new incident, incident can also be written in new paragraph. Don't mix, don't mark like one, right? Is it clear? New incident, new paragraph. New incident, new paragraph, right? I give you sample story. Don't worry, be happy. Use only past tense with narrating the story. አያችሁ past tense ቀደም ያስተማርኳችሁ ለዚህ ቀደም ያለ tense መፍትሄ የለም ምንም ማድረግ አንችልም ብያችኋለሁ use only past tense ያው past tense ምንድነው ማለት አትችሉም አሁን ስለተማራችሁ use past tense when narrating story especially story most of the times is faster most of the time stories are fast so we are expected to use past tense once upon a time when I was in high school, I had many friends. I used to chill out with my friends. Past tense. It's very important to build up on the story with coherence. Coherence with coherence from the beginning to the end. Coherence, what does it mean? Coherent, Mr. Autumn.
ኮሄረንስ ሚንስ አይዲያው ፍሎ ማድረግ አለበት ካንዱ ፓራግራፍ ወደ አንዱ ፓራግራፍ እያለን ስንሄድ የአይዲያውን ፍሎውን እንደጠበቀ ሲሄድ ኮሄረንስ እንለዋለን
coherent very right coherent and also in chronological order ማለት ነው chronological ማለት በቅደም ተከተል ነው chronological order ባዚ ለነዚህ ነገሮች ኮንጀክሽን ወሳኝ ናቸው ኮንጀክሽን አሁን አስተምራቸዋለሁ ባዚ እዚህ ጋር congestion very important one because tense ካወቃችሁ በኋላ congestion is important አንዱ tense የሚያጋባው tense ማለት congestion right the more use good congestions the more story will be nice the story will be nice the first paragraph should ማለት ነው እዚህ ጋር አርሻው the first paragraph should be the description of the place and characters as given in the outline በደንብ አዳምጡ when you write a story the first paragraph should be description of the place. The first paragraph should talk about description of the place and characters as given in the outline. The next paragraph should deal with ሁለተኛው ፓራግራፍ ማለት ነው። ሁለተኛው ፓራግራፍ the next paragraph should deal with the problem the problem or the twist in the story. The third paragraph I got you. The solution to the problem should from the given conclusion. አንድ እቺ ብለን ላስረዳችሁ። When you write a story ማለት ነው። When you write a story, the first paragraph should describe about place characters. assignment ስለምስጣችሁ እባካችሁ በደንብ አዳምጡ። The first paragraph should discuss about place and the characters. ሁለተኛው ፓራግራፍ ላይ ምንድን ነው የምትሰሩት? The second paragraph the problem አይደል the ችግር the problem. The third paragraph ቅድም አውርተናል. The solution of the problem should from the concluding paragraph. At the last revise the story after completing it. After you complete, you need to revise the story ማለት ነው። You need to revise the story. ጥያቄ አላችሁ እዚህ ላይ እስቲ? አሁን ቲዮሪ ላይ ነው። We have seen the theory part. Okay. ሳምፕል እንትን ከማየታችን በፊት ኮንጀክሽን አንድ ላስተምራችሁ ማስታወሻ ጻፉልኝ እስቲ። አጭር ነች፣ የ5 ደቂቃ ትምህርት ነች። ፕሊዝ ራይት። ሁላችሁም ደብተርና ወረቀት ይዛችኋል። ኮንጀክሽን ብለን እንጻፍ። ኮንጀክሽንስ ራይት ፕሊዝ። ኮንጀክሽንስ are words. Conjunctions are words which connect two and more than two sentences. Which connect two and more than two sentences. Conjunctions are words which connect two and more than two sentences. Conjunctions are words which connect two and more than two sentences. Number one, Varuna. Number one, so that group ያርጓችሁ ነው ይባል group 1 ማለት ይቻላል group 1 group 2 ያርጉ ተጣጣችሁና you can say group 1 ውስጥ እነዚህ ነው የምትጽፉት። you write what I say group 1 ውስጥ group 1 so that therefore ጻፉልኝ therefore so this hence ተፈተንኩ ከስላል hence as a result consequently not like ይሰማል not like
ይሰማል
አልፈተንኩም
አልፈተንኩም
እሺ thank you check ያደረኩሽ consequently
ናትናኤል ሲኖር ክላስ ቲቸር
ናትናኤል ደረጀ ነው I have seen only one ናትናኤል ናትናኤል ደረጀ ነው not ናትናኤል ወዲ እሺ thank you check ያደረኩ ስለሆነ እንዳልፈተን ብዬ consequently እነዚህ ከስር ኖት በሉና ከስር ኖት በሉና እነዚህ ሁሉ አንድ ናቸው ባይ these are the same ኖት ብላችሁ we use these conjunctions this ማለት the plural this the plural we use these conjunctions when በቃል ያሳፍኳችሁ ነው ለዛ when the second sentence is when the second sentence is the result of the first sentence. When the second sentence is the result of the first sentence. When the second sentence is the result of the first sentence. We use these conjunctions when the second sentence is the result of the first sentence. Examples. በጣም ቀላል ነው በጣም ወሳኝ ነው examples I have not eaten my breakfast yet. I have not not ስለማይባል not a not not I have not eaten my breakfast yet. ቁርሴን እስካሁን አልበላሁም ማለት ነው I have not eaten my breakfast yet እሺ ከተመቻችሁ አሁን ከላይ የተገለጹት ሁሉም አንድ ነው ብያለሁ አይደል ቀደም የተዘረዘሩት ከዛ ከተመቻችሁ አንዱ መጠቀም ይችላል ሁሉንም መጠቀም ያው ስለማይቻል አንዱ the same ናቸው so that I am hungry so that I am hungry 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 okay let me explain this እነዚህ ግሩፕ አንድ ናቸው so that therefore consequently as a result they are the same አንድ ናቸው ማለት ነው the same እነዚህ ዓላማቸው ምንድነው to show result ነው ውጤት ለመግለጽ በአማርኛ ስለዚህ ማለት ነው ስለዚህ ውጤት ለመግለጽ ማለት ውጤት ቀደም የሰጠኋቸው ኤግዛምፕል አለ ማን ነው ኖት አለ we use this conjunction when the second sentence is the result of the first there are two sentences right like this there are two sentences this sentence came because of this sentence ማለት ነው right this sentence came two sentences this sentence came because of this man right so result the second sentence came because of the first sentence man ውጤት ለመግለጽ ማለት examples ጽፋችኋል you have written now I have not eaten my breakfast yet ቁርሴን እስካሁን አልበላሁም ስለዚህ ምን ሆኛለሁ ስለዚህ I am መራባል ስለዚህ ርቦኛል I am hungry why are you hungry Mr. Abdul in this sentence why are you hungry
I haven't
eaten thank you I haven't eaten my breakfast yet ቁርሴን እስካሁን ስላልበላሁ ውጤት ለመግለጽ ማለት ስለዚህ ስቶሪ ያፈጽፉ ፓራግራፍ ያፈጽፉ ኮንጀክሽን ይወሰናል ስለዚህ የምትጠቀሙት ኮንጀክሽን በትክክለኛ ቦታ therefore መጠቀም ይችላል as a result ምናምን መጠቀም ይችላል ሌላ ምሳሌ ስታችሁ coronavirus is spreading coronavirus is spreading in alarming rate coronavirus is spreading S-P-R-E-A-D-I-N-G spreading coronavirus is spreading in alarming rate therefore እስቲ ማን የሚጨርስልኝ እስቲ therefore ጀሩሳሌም እስቲ ጨርሼ ጀሩሳሌም ኢየሩስ እስቲ ጨርሼ አረፍተ ነገር coronavirus is spreading in alarming rate therefore ውጤት ለመግለጽ ነው ብያለሁ እነዚህ ኮንቴክስት እንጠቀም therefore
stay
home thank you so much thank you ይቻላል ሌላ Mr. Samson ዛሬ አላወራሁት I miss Samson
አውርተን መቼ ተመለስኩት
ወተን ተመለስከው እሺ ኔትወርክ እሺ ናትናኤል ውዴ ናትናኤል ወጥቷል። ናትናኤል ውዴ ያ ጨርስ እስቲ coronavirus spreading alarm rate therefore
We have to take care
of ourselves. Actually, coronavirus spreading alarm rate therefore we should stay at home. We should stay at home. Why should we stay at home? Why? ለሚለው የመጀመሪያ ውጤት ነው ይያል because coronavirus spreading alarm rate ገብቷቸዋል። እነዚህ ሪዛልት ይገልጻሉ። conjunction group 2 በሉና conjunction group 2 also even though however nevertheless I think you remember in high school lessons, right? Nevertheless in spite of despite of however ብያቸዋለሁ ቀደም ማለት but ሌሎችም አሉ ያው ትጨምሩታላችሁ እናንተ ለምሳሌ ሰጣችሁ እነዚህ ነው ምንድናቸው we use this conjunction to show contrast idea we use these conjunctions to show contrast የሚቃረን ማለት ነው contrast means positive and negative show a contrast idea positive እና negative idea ለማቃረን ማለት ነው ይሄ ተቀላጭ ቀላል እሺ examples also Martha is from rich family Martha is from rich family she goes on barefoot means ባዶ እግር ማለት she goes on barefoot instead of also we can use even if however but is always used in the middle of sentence ሌሎቹ መሐልም ፍለፊት መምጣት ይችላሉ but is always in the middle of sentence right so this show contrast idea Martha is from rich family but she always goes what also she goes on barefoot this opposite one የሚቃረን ሐሳብ ማለት የሚቃረን እዚህ ጋር ቀላል ስለሆነ አልፈዋል ተቃራኒ ሐሳብ ለመግለጽ በእነዚህ ተጠቀማላችሁ when you write something a paragraph and you say something next time we'll talk about this or a story if it is contrast idea you are expected to use these conjunctions ማለት okay እነዚህ ተጠቀማላችሁ ውጤት ደግሞ ሲሆን result ሲሆን the first group ተጠቀማላችሁ ማለት thank you so much the third group of conjunction in order to to ማለት to in order to አለ to ሁለተኛ ማለት in order to to so as so as to in order to so as to እነዚህ ደግሞ የነዚህ ዓላማ ምንድነው to tell our purpose ነው purpose means objective በጣም ወሳኝ ናቸው conjunctions by the way ኮንጀክሽን የሌለው እንትን ስናነበው አይጥሩም፣ ደስ አይጣፍጥም ማለት ነው። ስፓይስ ናቸው ኮንጀክሽኖች። ኦኬ so as to in order to እነዚህ ምንድን ናቸው? ለምን ተጠቀሙ? to tell our purpose objective በአማርኛ ለ ማለት ነው። ወይ በአማርኛ ሲሆን በደንብ ይገባል። ለ ማለት ነው። purpose objective ለ ኦኬ ኔትወርክ ነው። I think network it has been disconnected but now we have see each other. እሺ አቤት ይሰማል? ይሰማል?
ይሰማል?
እሺ ኔትወርክ ወጥቶ ነው የገባው እዛ የጠፋሁት። እሺ ምን ላይ ነበር ያቆምኩት? እሺ to tell our purpose our objective I am working day and night I'm working day and night in order to live a better life. In order to live a better life. Better, B-E-T-E, better sound actually, better life. ስለዚህ ይሄ ምንድነው? ዓላማ ነው፣ ኦብጀክቲቭ ነው። Why are you working? ቢላችሁ አንድ ሰው why are you working day and night? Why? In order to live a better life. የተሻለ ኑሮ ለመኖር ለማለት ነው፣ ኦብጀክቲቭ ነው ማለት ነው። These conditions can come in the beginning and in the middle of sentence as you like. Don't worry, it doesn't change the meaning ማለት ነው። እስቲ
ልዩነት መፍጠር ዓላማችን ነው። ዓለም አቀፍ ተወዳዳሪ መሆን አለባችሁ። የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ ጥራትና ደረጃውን የጠበቀ ስልጠና በመስጠት ብቁ ዜጋ እያፈራን ነው። በፍላይት ኦፕሬሽን፣ በበረራ መስተንግዶ፣ በቲኬቲንግና ሪዘርቬሽን፣ በሆቴልና ቱሪዝም ሙያዎች አሰልጥነን ተወዳዳሪ እናደርጎታለን። ኮሌጃችን ካናዳ ከሚገኘው ኢንተርናሽናል ኤር ትራንስፖርት አሶሲዬሽን አያታና ከእንግሊዙ ICM ጋር በመተባበር ዓለም አቀፍ እውቅና ያለው ስልጠና እየሰጠ ይገኛል። በፍላይት ኦፕሬሽን፣ በበረራ መስተንግዶ የምንሰጣቸው ስልጠና ከኢትዮጵያ ሲቪል አቪዬሽን ባለስልጣን ሙሉ እውቅና አለው። አድራሻ ከጎላጉል ታወር 22 አደባባይ ወደ ሾላ በሚወስደው መንገድ ላይ የናሽናል ኤርዌይስ እህት ኩባንያ ናሽናል አቪዬሽን ኮሌጅ ህልሞን እውን ያደርጋል።